the following circuit here, we have to find I of t for all time values, and then we have to find what the current will be when t is 1 and when t is 3. So we see here that the switch will be closed when t is 0, and then 2 seconds later, the switch 2 is closed. So right now, let's focus on when none of the switches are closed. So what will this be? So we actually see our current here, IT, is actually going to be 0. The reason is because, look here, so this is an open wire, so that means the current passing through all of this region will be 0, and this will also be an open wire, so the same here. It's 0, 0, so that means this one will also be 0. Now let's focus on when t is greater than or equal to 0, but less than 2. At that point, this portion is closed. So our circuit looks something like this. So we have our 6 amp source here. Okay, and then this part, it's open, so we can just pretty much ignore it. So it's 6 amps, 15 ohms, 10 ohms, 20 ohms, then 5 Henry here, and then we have the current passing through here. So first, let's find out what the current will be when t is exactly at 0. Well, it's also going to be 0 as well, and this is the reason why. Because when t was less than 0, the current was 0. Now the second t is 0, the current passing through the inductor can change instantaneously. Okay, so the current will also be 0 when t is 0. Now let's find the formula to represent IT. Okay, so to find the formula to represent IT, it's going to be, wait, whoops. Hold on, let me just move the circuit to the side. Okay, so the formula to find IT is going to be I infinity plus I of 0 minus I infinity. Let me move the circuit a bit more. Times e to the power of t over the time constant. So the only times you use this formula is when you turn on or off one of the switches and there's still some source involved. So as you, or when you turn on and off the switch and the circuit fully disappears. So in this case, when the switch was on, there was a source here, but when it was off, the entire circuit was, fully erased from existence. So that's when you use this formula. So we know what I of 0 was, it was 0, but we don't know what I infinity is. And this circuit is confined from 2 to 0. So how are we going to find infinity for I infinity for this circuit? What we're going to do is pretend that this circuit goes to infinity. All right, and then let's find the voltage at this inductor. That's equal to the inductance value times the change in current over the change in time. And since we're taking time to be infinity, the voltage will be 0. So it'll be a short circuit here. So now we can find the current here. We can do a node analysis. So let's call this V. Let's have a current I here. So node V will be I plus IT, and this IT will be pretty much I infinity here, and this will be equal, they're both leaving the node, and this will be equal to 6 amps, which is entering. So I will be V over 15 plus I infinity, which one will be V minus 0 all over 10 plus 2, which is 30, equals 6. So V is, so take out the V. So 1 over 15 plus 1 over 30, that's 0.1, equals 6. Divide both sides by 0.1, and we see V is 60. Now we know I infinity was V over 30, so it's 60 over 30, which is 2. So now we know what I infinity is, we know what I0 is. The last thing we need is the time constant. So the time constant is equal to the inductance all over the resistance equivalent. So we know the inductance was 5 Henry. Find the resistance equivalent. It's pretty much between the terminals of the inductance. So to find resistance equivalent, we just turn off all independent sources. So this one's just an open wire, so we can just ignore it. And then we add up all the resistors, and we see they're all in series. So it'll be 15 plus 10 plus 20, which is 45. So 5 over 45, that's 0.111, okay, seconds. So I of t will be I infinity, which is 2 plus 0 minus 2 times e to the power of t over 0.111 seconds, and 1 over that, that's just 9t, okay? Sorry, yeah, 9, and 9 times t, the letter t, not 90. So it'll be 2 minus 2 e to the power of 9 times t amps. And this is for, oh yeah, and then turn this infinity back to 4. So, no, sorry, not back to 4, back to 2. So this is the formula for when t is less than 2 but greater than or equal to 0. Okay? Now, let's find the formula for when t is greater than or equal to 2. So it's the same formula, but just a small part is different. So it's I infinity plus I of 2, not I of 0, because we're starting 2 seconds off from our last sorry, we're continuing off from our last circuit, because you know this switch is switch 1 is currently on. Now we turn on switch 2, so we're continuing off our last circuit. Minus I infinity times e to the power of t minus 2 all over the time constant. So notice it's instead of it being minus t over the time constant, it's minus t minus 2 over the time constant. Okay? So let me just put this in brackets. So minus t minus 2. So yeah, sorry, minus bracket t minus 2. That's the proper way to say it. My apologies. Okay, now let's redraw the circuit, but with switch 2 on. So it's going to look something like this. Wait, hold on. And then since switch 2 is on, it's going to be this portion. And then let's put the values: 20 ohms here, 10 ohms here, 15 ohms here, 6 amps here, and 5 henries here. And then we have I, T passing through here. Now, we can pretty much ignore this 20 resistor. The reason is because all current will pass through here, because there's no resistors here. And current will choose the path with no resistors if it's available. So our circuit will look like this, actually. And now, going back to this equation, we have to find I2. How are we going to find I2? Well, we can actually use the previous formula. But you may be asking, wait, why use the previous formula if it's confined to less than 2 or greater than or equal to 0? It's not like, less than or equal to 2. Well, this is what we're going to do. Sorry, this is the reason why we can use this formula. Is because, let's say we put in I of 1.99999 repeating. Okay? Well, that fits in this range, right? So the value we get wouldn't be equal to I of 2 if we were to just directly put it in. So it's like the same thing. So like the current we get from this output is going to be roughly the same from the current we get from this output. So we might as well just put 2 directly in. Okay, so 2 minus 2 e to the power of 9 times 2. Let me see what that gives me. That gives me 1.99999. Okay, so that's I2. Now let's solve for I infinity. Okay, so let's find the voltage here. It's going to be the inductance value times the change in voltage, or change in current, I mean, over the change in time. So since we're trying to find I infinity, this will be infinity. So the voltage will be 0. So we can just ignore this. So we can short circuit this. Now let's find IT. So we'll do a node analysis. Let's call this V. I1. And then this is just IT. But we're trying to find I infinity. So we'll just call this I infinity. So node V will be I1 plus I infinity. They're both leaving node equals 6. So I1 is V over 15 plus I infinity, which is V over 10 equals 6. Okay, so take out the V. So it's 1 over 15 plus 1 over 10, which is 0.16667 equals 6. 6 divided by 0.16667, V is 36. So I infinity is V over 10. So 36 over 10, that's 3.6. Okay, so oh yeah, and then we have to find the time constant. So the time constant will be equal to the inductance value all over the resistance equivalent. Inductance value was 5 Henry, and it's between this terminal. Okay, so to find the resistance equivalent, we turn off this source. Okay, so we could just ignore this portion. Then we add up all the resistors. So it's 10 plus 5, so that's 25. So it's 5 over 25, and that's 0.2. Now we have enough information. So I of t will be I infinity, which was 3.6. Right, so this is I infinity, plus 1.99999 minus 3.6 times e to the power of t minus 2. Sorry, minus bracket t minus 2 all over 0.2. So it's 3.6 minus 1.6 e, and 1 divided by 0.2, that's 5. So minus 5 t minus 2 amps. And then this is your formula for when t is greater than or equal to 2. Now the second part asks to find I1 and I1 and I3. So to find I1, we will have to use this formula because it's within that range. So I of 1 will be 2 minus 2e minus 9 times 1. So let me see what that gives me. That's 1.99975 amps. Now I3, we have to use this formula as 3 is greater than or equal, as 3 is greater than 2. So it will be 3.6 minus 1.6 e to the power of 5, 3 minus 2. And let me see what that gives me. So that's 3.589 amps. And those are your final answers.